Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Two Lakes Duel between ISI playing 39Y, a division he likes a lot, and he's going up against Pixel playing 6Y, a division he likes a lot. So these two are very familiar with these divisions. We're going to do the deck reviews, then we'll do the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for Pixel, and he's playing 6YA. I've only played against him a few times, but he tends to play a lot of 6YA. It's a decent div, and it's not actually that popular, so it's a pretty cool div to get into. It's got quite a few interesting options. It's not really lacking anything. Doesn't have airborne forward deploy, but yeah, you get special forces, you get IFVs, you get Resvedka BMP twos, I'm pretty sure, although he's not bringing them, so maybe you don't. You get the ridiculously annoying AA anti-infantry guns, right? So-called AA. Just use it against infantry. You get two cards of those. You get the books. You get some nice bombers. You get MiG-31 fighters. You basically get you get heavy tanks. Basically get everything you need to win. So it's a nice div. It's kind of underutilized, but in tournaments, so there's one guy who actually won the last big tournament, the Warno League Season 4, called Pro Commie, and he plays a lot of 6YA. And, this div wins tournaments. So it's a good div. We'll go through it tab by tab. Unfortunately, I don't actually play it that much. I guess we could check, right? See me on rank 1 here, not flexing or anything. So, where's my 6YA? Uh, Played a bit more than I thought I did. I played it 30 times, apparently, in multiplayer, so, it could be higher. I've not played it for a little bit, but it's not really changed that much. So first things first, 3 cards of supply. This makes a lot of sense if you've got heavy tanks to repair and lots of artillery to shoot. Is this a 2-point slot? Why has he done that? Weird. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 CVs. All right. So first things first, we're skipping around a bit. Yeah, that artillery. This is trash. Just get rid of it. You don't need 4 howitzers. So I mean, if you really want to skimp and save, yes, you can get 2 of these because 2 of these is 260, which is basically 1 minute's income, and then you can fire these. But you don't want these and the Giat S's. Whatever, giant S's, whatever. You don't want 4 howitzers, so you got to pick, and you can either save yourself. Well, what is that on AP? It's 3. So you can either save yourself 3 AP and run the Toad ones all the time, but what I personally would do is just run 2 of these, and yeah, keep that mortar for smoke. Because you don't need that much artillery, basically, especially in a 1v1. So you can either save yourself 3 AP or save yourself 2 AP. The reason I don't like taking these is because this is better. Obviously, it's like almost twice the price. It's 100 points more with the transport. But it fires faster, and it's got more range, so less dispersion, and you don't have to worry about putting it back in the transport, moving it, unloading it, putting it back in the transport, moving it, unloading it. It really does mess up your micro if you have to do that for 40 minutes, then you forget it one time and then it dies. So I prefer the self-propelled ones, and then with the 2 points you save, yeah, you can get some CVs, right? So you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 CVs. You've got a wheeled one. So I would just put this 2 per card one in here, right? And then you can swap out this infantry one because, you've still got 7 CVs. And then you got 3 AP, and you can get 2 more MiG-21 BIS clusters because these are absolutely crazy, and you should definitely want those. This is a lot of ASFs. So I've played into his 6YA, and he did have 3 cards of ASFs, and it was like he was just kind of throwing these away because he knew he had so many, basically. If you just play a little bit smarter about it, you don't need 3 cards. And then with that 3 AP, you can get some more tanks, right? So for starters, you need this. You need this. So let's say you don't want the extra MiG-2 MiG-21 BIS clusters. Okay, whatever. Either way, get yourself 3 AP somewhere. And get yourself 4 T55As at 2 vet. So useful for the start of the game. So useful for the start of the game. It's actually incredible. You just buy 3 or 4 of them at the start, and they really punch above their weight. You get a lot of ground early game by buying these, because it's kind of expensive to buy these T64s. They did get a little bit cheaper this patch. I think they got like 5 points cheaper or something. So you can, well, it might have been 10, but either way, you can buy this one a minute and so on. So yeah, this bridges the gap. Really good tank. It's kind of broken. Fires faster than a Challenger. I guess one vet Challenger it would fire faster than. Fires faster than a Chieftain at the same veterancy. It fires as fast as a Challenger at the same veterancy. So yeah, the T55A has just been buffed to oblivion. Buffed to NATO oblivion, right? So that's the Logi tab kind of sorted in a way, and the infantry tab, because you got to take something out somewhere to put it somewhere else. But the general idea here, 3 cards of supply makes sense. Some people bring this and then it dies and then they commit Sudoku, because this is 1 card of 6,000 supplies. Don't do that. Just, bring 1 of these and 2 of these is probably the best way of doing it. If you're in a big team game, you can bring this, but then there's more RT, so you're more likely to lose it. So infantry, right, we got rid of the CV. Mott Shotson are really good. This thing is stupidly cost effective. 30 points for a Malyutka and Smoke and Resolute and a Grom, and it's kind of crazy. And the Mott Shotson themselves, nice RPG, 2 MGs, 45 points, right? Whereas for 40, these guys don't have Resolute, and they lose an RPG. And they have 1 less availability for some reason. So the BMP 1PG can be nice for grenade launchers, but you don't get smoke on it, so it dies. And yeah, I just think this is way more cost efficient. So I would swap one of those out for this. Then sort of skipping around everywhere here. Do you not get BMP 2s on 6th? Interesting, I've learned something. No, you don't. Anyway. I thought you got Resvedka BMP2s. I must be confusing it with 25th, because they also get T64s. Anyway, Lufstrumjäger Metis are cool. They've got the Metis. 17 is red now. Thanks, that's really helpful. Just change that. Why not? Whereas it's... I believe it would be not red on this, but it is red on that. I don't understand why they've done that. It's really dumb. Anyway, maybe they'll change it back next patch. Trying to think of a 17 shoulder-fired rocket launcher. I don't think there is one. There probably is, I'm just not thinking. LRAC's like 15 or 16. M72 laws are 13. Yeah, it's kind of not many that are 17, actually. There's obviously a lot of ATGMs that are, but anyway, like, this one, right? Anyway, really good piece of kit. It's just you don't bring them at the start. Pixel likes to do this thing where he rushes you with a bunch of helicopters. I've got a game on my channel. I'll link it in the description if I remember. If I don't, please do remind me, because I always forget. And if you know it's coming, it's kind of easy to deal with. But if you don't know it's coming, it is difficult. You do tend to lose. Anyway, so you tend not to buy these at the start. You buy them later on and move them up, because basically this is FS Jaeger Metis. There's lots of Metis guys now. So you see that these 2 squads are the same, but one of them has airborne forward deployments, and it's 10 points more, not 5 points more. So basically, the Luftsturmjäger Metis should be 5 points more. The other one shouldn't be 5 points less. It's a really nice squad for the price. So this Luftsturmjäger Metis should be 5 points more, but because it comes in a really annoying transport to use, the helicopter, it's kind of a bit underpriced, because the helicopters are a bit expensive, and so nobody's basically noticed. Obviously, I noticed, because it's like my job. And it's the same with the regular FS Jaeger. I think. Yeah, look, there's a 10 points difference. And it's because of that transport. So actually, if you can play around the helicopters, these are really cost-efficient infantry. They should both be 5 points more, and then the helicopter transport should be 5 points less, basically. But the helicopter transport you could sell. So overall, it is a cost efficiency gain. It's just you have to play around the fact that the transport's kind of awkward. Then, yeah, the motor Strelkies, you can either get it with smoke or with a grenade launcher. It is really good against infantry with the grenade launcher. I personally prefer the smoke, so it dies less. But the grenade launcher really does make it just clear out infantry squads quite well. Already spoke about like this. Why wouldn't you bring this? This is incredible. And then Saperi RPO, you should bring it in the BTR 60PB really, because it's a nice transport. So I personally, I used to prefer normal satchels. The RPO is like definitely worth bringing. I used to prefer normal satchels, but he's already got normal satchels here, so you might as well bring the RPO, and you can either bring it at no vet and like double it up, which is what Skate does, because he brings flash as well, and he doubles them up with either another flash squad or a regular infantry. And the idea is the regular infantry gets shot, and then you bring the RPO in, and it shoots from behind, so they're already engaged in the other target. You don't take any cohesion damage. Fire all your RPOs, and then you just bug out. Go get some more RPOs. You should have a supply behind, right? Got supply trucks. Or you can have them at one vet, and then you don't have to worry about all that micro. It's kind of a similar story with these howitzers. There's like, so I'm currently rank 1, and even I am like, well, I don't want to deal with this micro game. Like, if I play Canada, I kind of have to, but if I've got this, I'd rather pay that 100 points premium, right? How many losses do you get in a game? 6,000, 10,000. I'd rather pay that 100 points premium to not have to worry about microing it all game. Because otherwise, yeah, while you're microing this, 100 points worth of units die. Well, that's it. There goes your cost saving. Why'd you bother? So yeah, you can just upvet it and then have fewer and then not have to worry about all that micro stuff. And yeah, the Conkers, you don't bother upvetting because if it's getting shot at, you want to leave. Didn't this used to be green? Oh, man. Anyway, it's green here, 18, but this is, yeah, well, keep changing it. Spoke about this, mortar for smoke, great. What you can also do is, like, downvet this and bring the Eurogun, but honestly, it's just not. I keep telling people to, like, oh, yeah, you could fit this in. I mean, no, the Eurogun specifically has a 4-minute reload, so don't bother with that. The Grad you can sort of get away with in a 1v1. Anyway, tanks, so this can survive a 30 AP missile from a plane, because you need 17 armor or 16 with ERA. This cannot, because it doesn't have the ERA, so that's why it's 15 points less. But also its vet curve's better. So, yeah. And then this can survive a 30 AP missile, but it will die in two. So all of these will die in 2 TOW 2 hits, whereas the T80 BV, which actually isn't in this division, would not die to 2 TOW 2 hits, but would die to 2 TOW 2A hits. A lot of these things really only become useful for tournament play, but generally 17 armor or 16 with ERA is very important because every AT playing in the game bar 2 has a 30 AP missile, which will one-shot you if you don't cross that threshold. So it's an important threshold, and that's why the price is like 15 different. Obviously, the ATGM is worse as well. Something about the autonomy there, which I don't really understand what this means. 365 over 2 days Kingdom Hearts. Anyway, this thing, why is it vetted? To be honest, I don't even bring this. I prefer the BRDM2 Conkers, because it's got less range, but it's very speedy, so you can send it around the sides and be a bellend. But yeah, this is more of a, punch them in the face kind of thing, and frankly, it's a punch them in the face kind of division, so I guess it makes sense. I don't understand why it's vetted, though, because if you're getting shot at, right, you should be moving or dead. The whole point is, because you've only got 3 HP, the whole point is that you outrange the enemy. So why bother upvetting it? Is it just the case that he only ever brings 4? In which case you should bring 6, because it's really good. And we spoke about the T55A when I was molding at the start. Spec Scrupper A, so these guys are cracked, and gals as well, I suppose. They didn't used to have AT, and now they do. So they don't have airborne forward deployed, but if you can get them into, like, the town on Vertigo, right, in the middle, or on one, or that one on the zone, or that one on the far zone, they're very, very hard to get rid of, because they just absolutely melt enemy infantry. They've got special forces. There's no point max vetting them, because it's not a special forces transport, so you won't go super fast or whatever. You lose 2 availability, it's not worth it. But yeah, they throw the satchels, they fire the AT, 10 strike, SVD as well, so they cohesion nuke you as you're running towards them. You just get suppressed. Scorpion isn't the best thing ever, but when you've got 9 of them at 2 vet with special forces at satchel range, it's going to absolutely mess you up. So yeah, really annoying squad to deal with. Then we've got Motorized Aufklärer in the BMP-1. So this is at no vet because, you know, this has mediocre stealth and shouldn't get shot and so on. It's not got smoke. I personally don't really like this, but I think this is a better option because this actually has twice the damage of an autocannon, which he has brought. Actually has twice the damage of an autocannon, so for some dumb reason, it's like, oh, it's only 4 PKTs. No, it's got twice the damage of an autocannon. So it is kind of nice to have. Like, let's say, hypothetically, what was it that we were switching around before? It was... I mean, it was here, but I took something out of here, and then I put it in... I swapped one of the fighters for this, and then I had 3 extra AP, and I put it somewhere. Oh yeah, the T-55A. Like, if you really don't want that, you can bring the Helo for the 4 times PK. Like, this is so useful. And he does heli rushes, but he's doing them without the recon Helo. It makes absolutely no sense. Because you need the recon Helo to help your heli rush. So that kind of needs to be there, and you can swap this out for it, because you've got enough BMP-1s, right? And you got enough infantry recon, so yeah, that's probably what I would do. The other thing is your tanks won't be able to see very well without exceptional optics. So this can go with them, but you can also use the Helo, you know. But yeah, this thing's really nice. Or you could use this, because that can sneak around the side and snipe AA pieces. Anyway, books, yeah, very cool. Nice AA. Tunguskas I don't like at all, really. I think they're kind of bad. I would prefer just Iglas. Or 4 books. But yeah, some people like this because you can switch this off and then it will still fire this. So it's kind of good against like Apaches and stuff. It's just it doesn't have smoke. And it's kind of expensive and then it dies. And it's not that available. But it is alright. But like these two don't both shoot at once either, which is kind of weird. Anyway, this is for anti-infantry. It's really, really, really good against infantry. I thought they got the ZU-23s as well. I must be confusing them with KDA or something. Or they changed that, maybe. But helis, so I don't really like these, but I was playing against a guy who was bringing them on 119Y, and he would buy 2, and then he would just, because of the range on this, he would just pop them up, just fire the long-range ones, and then leave before I could hit him. And it was really, really, really good. So maybe they can work. The AA missiles, I wouldn't expect great things from. The Urn, you want a max vet, because... Well, okay, I suppose it's already at 2 vets, so you kind of don't have to. It's just you would have a 1-second aim time and a 90% chance of hitting once in the first salvo. That's what that means. But then again, 75 is still high and 1.5 still high because it's 2 vet for free, so maybe you don't have to up vet it. And yeah, the rocket 2 has lots of rockets. We sort of spoke about MiG-31 is great, and this is the fire and forget missiles, so it's actually really good. But the accuracy doesn't go up with range. So if you're facing this and he fires the first missile and he doesn't hit you, and you're going towards each other, you shouldn't evac. You should just keep going at him. A lot of people make that mistake. And then this is for like helo hunting. These are really, 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 really good against tanks. And then yeah, this is good against infantry, 3 per card. I actually prefer this one because the missiles shoot from further away. Oh, well, okay, I suppose it's the same as this. But it shoots them all at once, and then it reloads really quickly. So I actually do prefer this one. But this probably deals more damage over the course of the run. So like, this probably wouldn't fully kill an infantry squad. It's just it shoots them all straight away, and then you just evac it. Anyway, that's it for Pixel's deck. His opponent is ISI. Now, I recently cast an ISI game, and I'll link that in the description if you want to see the full cast, because there's no point in me just repeating myself. The only thing he's changed between the casts is he's upvetted these, which is something I did actually recommend, but I believe this game was played before that other game went public by like a couple days, just looking at the dates. So he didn't get this from me, he just figured it out himself. He's just updated these two because, like, why would you not? Especially the Razvedka Saperi. So, yeah, if you want to see the deck review for that, just check that video. It'll be linked in the description because there's no point just saying exactly the same thing again. Now we'll cover the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. Right, so with that out of the way, let's talk briefly about the map. Basically, blue's on the good side because you can forward deployed rush Olga and you can forward deployed rush Emma, and Leonid is closer to these middle points than Paul, Sign, and Anna, so that does give blue the advantage. Thing is, neither of these divisions have airborne forward deployment, and yeah, that's about all there is to it. Neither of these divs have airborne forward deployment, so they can't really take advantage of this. Yeah, in terms of the divisions themselves, I think 39Y is actually quite a weak division. I mean, I've lost to it. I lost to it on stream against Skate when basically I was showing off the South Ag divs, and he obliged to help me show off the South Ag divs by picking 39Y, the third oldest division in the game out of 53. But anyway, he beat me. So clearly a very good division. But no, it's not really. It's not a good division. Basically, 79Y is just way better in more or less every single way. Gets more tanks, gets more BMP2s, right? 39Y does get some more infantry. But no, 79Y also gets airborne forward deployment. I think it gets a better... okay, well, it gets worse fighters, but it gets better bombers. It gets seed. 39Y doesn't get seed. Yeah, what can I say? 39Y suffers. But yeah, ISI, the champion of 39Y. 6Y is kind of meta. It's sort of like a stealth pick. So there's a guy who won the last tournament, last SDL Warno League called Pro Commie, and he plays 6Y a lot. So it is a very good div. It's got everything you need, as you'll know from the deck review, which you didn't skip. And yeah, it's just sort of like a stealth pick. People don't really choose it that much, but it is a very good div. So in terms of the deployments, we've got ISI opening with some Razvedka BMP-1Ps here, and they are at Novet. Oh, maybe I got it the wrong way around in the deck review. Maybe he downvetted them this time, so I've upvetted them. Anyway, they should be at 1 vet. They should be at 1 vet. So, yeah, he's bringing this over here and then unloading it. He's bringing this over to here, then unloading it. He's bringing this over to here and then unloading it. Razvedka Saperia coming in. That's quite deep. We'll see if they make it. And he's trying to get a Razvedka BMP 1P here. So basically, if you want to win for Emma, you have to hold this on either side. If you want to win this zone, this is absolutely crucial. I can't say this enough. It's kind of awkward to get to from this side, which is really annoying. Because at the start, if the enemy has airborne forward deployment, he can actually beat you there because of the way the roads work. But hey, this is supposed to be the strong side, so I guess that is a weakness of the strong side, right? Because if red gets to here, uh-oh, you're not reinforcing anymore because he's shooting you. And if blue gets to here, well, red isn't reinforcing into the town anymore because he's shooting you. So this is very, very important, and so that's why he's put somebody there. We've got 2 CVs, Sign and Anna Emma. And then, yeah, so supply, and that's presumably a Cubs going there. 2 Iglas, Motostrokey Metis, Conkers, and you see he's put it here in case somebody does get up to here and then he can just shoot them. I think this building would be better because it would give him more cover and also the opportunity to move up if he has to. Because, yeah, like, what's the... I suppose actually, if you put it here, you can sort of shoot back there. I suppose that's the advantage. And then 3 Saperi RPO and Motostrokey RPG-22 and a Cub, which is going to where the supply is going. Switching to his opponent's deployment, we've got Pixel playing 6Y, and every single time I've seen him, which is only 3 times now, he's been playing 6Y and he's done the same thing. So if you come up against this guy, you know what to do. He's going to have to change his strategy now. He opens with a bunch of Urds and helicopters, and then these 2 jets. Now, yeah, so he's just heli rushing, basically. So Luftstrom Jäger Metis for Emma, CV for Leonid, and then presumably Emma, CV for Paul, Olga, Spetsgrupper, Conkers, Razvedka, Motorized Razvedka for here, another Spetsgrupper for the town, another Conkers for this town. Yeah, so, and Lufstrom Riegermetis. So the mistake he always makes, which he'll probably stop making after he watches this, is he splits these fighters up. You don't want them right next to each other because one missile will suppress both. But if Blue has bought a fighter, because these have so low range, and I will link that game that I streamed of me playing against him, and basically he splits these fighters up, and then that means if you've got a long-range fighter, you just come in from this way and you kill this and then you kill this. And it's not 2v1, it's 1v1, and then it's 1v1. Whereas, or you come in this way and do this, right? So you don't want them right on top of each other, but this idea of I'll split them both up and then do the cool weave is actually a really bad idea. because if you get caught out when this one's over here and this one's over here, well then you're dead to one enemy fighter. Well, at least you should be. Obviously, it's all RNG. So you'll probably stop doing that now, so you won't be able to take advantage of it. But yeah, we'll see if ISI knows about that. So like the Cubs... we'll see if he's open fighter. He might have done, because there's not a lot here. But anyway, the Cub one-shots these, so that's worth noting. So let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners. Generously joiner in the channel. They get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members-exclusive videos. One joiner at the lowest levels worth 2,000 views in ad revenue equivalents. So if you're feeling bad about your ad blocks, a great way to support the channel. This is on an attack move order. So did you see how much it missed by there? That's because it left the range and then it started moving. If the enemy enters this, yeah, look, he's put it on fast move now. What you need to do is first turn off cover, because it will also prioritize covering over keeping the missile going. So you got to turn off cover, and then, yeah, you just press stop, and then the missile will keep going. So he could have actually killed that there. Or it might have missed anyway, but... I was shilling. He interrupted my shilling with his poor AA micro. At the highest tier, you get your games cast at a rate of 1 per calendar month, so that's a great way to improve because it's it's coaching, or if maybe some people also use it as a service to like I beat a guy I don't like, and I think that's wonderful actually because then their opponents can also sign up to the service, and both sides can flame each other, and obviously I win no matter what. So yeah, if you beat somebody who you don't like, remember to unload your Saperi RPO there. So that's a shame. And yeah, he could have done with... Oh no, he didn't unload this either, because he'd put it on an attack move, then unload order. So it just kept going there. The urns came over here. There's nobody rushing here, so now they're over here. And ISI's bought 4 Iglas, which I think is massive overkill. He should have bought like 1 Igla for here, 1 Igla for here, and then 2 regular guys. So basically what he's missing out on is okay, but that means they can't really hurt the infantry so much anymore because they've run out of rockets, so the Iglas should make quick work of this. Loses a BTR 60 PB there. ISI should have put a supply in here because the Saperi, they fired their RPOs and now they can't do anything. Having said that, he has managed to counter the rush pretty well. The only issue is this Conquers here. And yeah, that Igla did go down. This one's still reloading. Bomber purchased? I don't think that was a good idea. If the enemy's got 2 fighters up, he would have been better off buying the Su-27S. This is just... That must have been a near miss. That was a near miss. Because, yeah, this should one-shot that. So, yeah, the urns are going down. The Igla's out of ammo, though, and the second one was killed. So, you see, like, how much micro matters, right? Because if ISI had unloaded here, or popped the smoke on that vehicle, he would own this. The Conkers wouldn't be shooting his reinforcements. And if the Igla here hadn't died, then this urn would also be dead, and he would have, saved some HP here. So there's lots to think about. And the other thing is, like, so he knows it's clear up to here, so one of these Iglas should be here. And there shouldn't really be 4 Iglas. I think that's slightly overkill. So basically what you can do is wait 4 minutes and then send out your bomber. Because, yeah, this was less than stellar. The thing is, he might actually make it. No, this hit 2 in a row and then the guns. Although, you'd expect at that range it would hit it. Although I think fire and forget missiles, I think the accuracy doesn't go up with decreased range. I'm going to have to look that up. Anyway, ISI needs to get the CV in here, because he is over 100 points behind now. And yeah, just sending all the igloos over here means there's none over here. So he's purchased an OSA, and these are wheeled, so they're kind of better at getting around. And you see that, because he didn't have a supply, the urns are taking this. In the meantime, Pixel could have put his CV in here, especially on the back of these 3 Motor Strelky. He should be putting that CV in there. So the urn goes down to presumably the BMP2. The next one is trying to get on the BMP1, it seems, but he's given it an attack move order instead of just right-clicking it, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Although it still did try and hit it, I think. These guys need to spread out a bit. But it is difficult to micro all this. You know, obviously I can just kind of sit here with my glass of water and remember to pronounce the T's on the ends of my words. So, yeah, you see, ISI won the original engagement, but basically he really needs to get this conquered. It's all about this. If this unit hadn't died there, he'd be in such a better position, because that Conquers would be dead, and he'd have a Razvedka BMP1 here hitting everything. So it does matter. It matters a lot. In the meantime, Pixel running Motor Strelky in to try and get the CV. Did actually get it there, so like this could have been hidden behind a house. Like that, perhaps. Very expensive helo purchase, but there's a lot of AA here now, so maybe that makes sense. And you see he has actually loaded up a couple of the igloos, because he's realised, you know, they're not really doing anything for me back here. So, I'm sure that sees that. Okay, it doesn't anymore. So yeah, if he just... I don't know if these get hit by AATGMs. I think they might. I know AA guns don't anymore. Towed AA guns, but big AA guns do. It's kind of weird. I kind of preferred it before they changed that bit. Anyway, so you got to be on the spot with this and land it straight away, because you know he is going to try and just send this out. And keep in mind he's got 10 planes, so he's just going to do it again in 7 seconds. So this really needs to hide. Although if it landed there, you know, it would still be spotted because of this. So I'm going to assume, I've not seen this, that he's just going to buy another plane and do it again, because I mean, that's what I would assume. The other thing is, you know, using this when it's not full HP is kind of rough, but he doesn't have much supply. He kind of needs it right now. He does have the SC-27 up. Tunguska's coming in for it, though, and this would usually not one-shot this, because it has 8 HP. I can hit... Oh, look! Wow! I'm a genius! And... it goes down, but the Tunguska kills the heli, and those jets are 4 per card. The Tunguska's 4 per card. The helo's 1 per card. So that's why I don't bring the expensive healers. I just bring the cheaper ones, because like, what's the point? It just dies anyway. Although, you know, I guess on the balance, if you've got 10-20% ECM, I can't remember if it was 10 or 20. I think it's 20. You know, maybe it's going to work sometimes. So yeah, after the AA shoots, you need to move it. Particularly against divs with good artillery, and this is a div with very good artillery, and he's brought 4 tubes for some reason. And that Conquers is still spotted. He needs more supply, but he's just immediately bought the next helo, which I think is a bad idea. Should have bought the supply and more frontline, because like, look, he's not got much here. Or maybe, you know, I suppose the tank is coming, actually. You know, another Conquers maybe, something like that. So this Conquers is actually dying. I'm sure he's noticed. He's not moving it. Well, I suppose he's moving this in, but basically if this came forwards he'd be able to kill it, but no, he's just... Okay, and then... Wow! Whoa, I'm so smart! Basically, you gotta see this as like moths being attracted to the flame. This is the flame, this is the moth. So you just got to assume that this will get hit by an AA plane as soon as you reveal it, and you can pay attention to these ticks to figure out when he's going to buy it, because usually they buy it as soon as they get the fresh money, right? So yeah, I mean it's an interesting game from Pixel. Basically, what he needs to do is get a smoke mortar. And he needs to make sure he takes this, right? And he's got the tools to do that. And get a smoke mortar and then start smoking everything. But, you know, he is 100 points. So, wow, what do you know? It's going straight for... Wow, it's incredible. Who could have guessed? Anyway, you notice he was facing the wrong way. This actually does have more armor on the front. So you gotta not do that. And now he needs to heal it before he uses it again, or the next plane is going to come and just do the next thing. And these two need to move, and this needs to move, and this needs to be sold, and this needs to be resupplied. So T80BV did lose some HP there. There is a T80B here. They're basically the same. They used to be really different, but they made them all the same. Because all packed equipment must be good, and all packed equipment must be the same. Everything must be as boring as possible, basically. So that's pretty rough. At this point, you need to buy an Acacia for these ZPUs, because that's... I suppose you could use tank, right? But apart from that, like, look how fast they... Oh, I just lost that worst there. He's sending it in without healing it. I wonder what's going to happen. Anyway, Pixel's slowly working through this, because ISI is not really healing his units. And he keeps losing things to silly things. So, yeah. And, you know, ISI doesn't get these Tode guns, for example. And so, yeah, ISI needs like a recon. I suppose he's just bought it, actually. Recon to here. And, yeah, just get stuff resupplied and start... You know, he needs more front line. I was going to say when I was explaining what Pixel was doing before I got distracted by this bright light here. Because I'm a moth as well, so I need to, you know, whoa, send my 12th ASF to go shoot this. He's still not healed it, by the way. You need the Spec Scrupper in here, because they're like a absolutely crazy infantry squad, so... So the T80BV can survive a hit from this, and that is not reciprocated, so they actually do both hit there. And it can get back to shooting these, but yeah, he needs more infantry, so the Sapere RPO is a good shout, and he needs more supply. Like, you should always have supply coming. It's such a useful thing. The other thing you do is you turn off fuel on it, because like, it's just spent a bunch of its supply refueling this tank. As you can see, it's full on fuel, and it's like, well, what do I need that for? I'd rather have these guys have some more HP. But, you know, most of it just comes from practice. But yeah, that fuel thing, that's something everybody should really know. I do mention it as often as possible. The main issue you've got is, yeah, you get stunned. Because, like, this will take 10 shots to kill that. So you don't have to worry about dying to it. The thing is getting stunned, and then, you know, if you're a Pixel, you bring up for something else. Like this one, for example. And you... But, you know, something that can actually kill him. Anyway, this is engaging on a few HP. So that's not ideal. Although the jet is up, but the Cub's out of ammo, and so some fresh supply on the way, but nothing for the Cub. This guy, what you do is you turn off the assault rifle so that he doesn't reveal himself, because now look, he's getting shot, and, you know, he's an Igla, you really don't want him getting shot. BMP-2 dies, OSA dies, Razvedka BMP-1 dies, all to infantry AT. You see this has been shooting. And yeah, basically when you shoot, you reveal yourself. So, I mean, I get what Pixel's doing here. He wants to clear out the stuff at the back, but it's costing him way too much. Like, he could have had a guy in this zone. He could do this anyway. Like, what he's up to here, this CV should be in here. It's not doing anything. But if he just maintains the cordon, and then pushes up to here with his tanks and so on, then he can shoot the reinforcements, and that's what it needs to be about. And, you know, I'm guilty of... Wow, whoa, I wonder where this is going. Can anybody guess? Does anybody know where this plane is going to go? Oh my gosh, you're a genius. Definitely weren't... Anyway. So this is the thing. He can just do that all day. Because that plane costs 125 points, and it's 4 per card. And the Hilo is 210 points, and it's 1 per card. So you will always take that trade. And so you've got to be super, super, super careful with your helicopters. Unless they're the cheap ones, like the Urn or whatever, in which case you should still be very careful with them. But yeah, using it when it's not fully repaired, using it when the Cub's not, like, because he's realised now, oh, my Cub didn't shoot. It's not ideal. But yeah, if I was ISI, I mean, he's just stuck buying supply now. He needs to buy an artillery piece, an Acacia, because, like, how else is he going to kill these? You know, and he knows there's somebody in here, and I suppose this is moving now. Because, like, how else do you kill these? He's got 12 of them, they kill your infantry. You can use your tanks, but then the ATGMs get you, and the enemy tanks get you. So you have to buy an artillery piece. He's going more on the tanks though, T-80BVs. It can work if you micro them well, right? But like basically this should always be doing something. Sturm S here is actually really good because the enemy can't really shoot back. But it can't shoot this. It just doesn't get hit by ATGMs. That was actually a change that I think was a bad change. Like, I was actually not a fan of that change. And hopefully if you go back and watch, you'll know that, you know, I never really thought that was a good idea. Hopefully. I mean, I might be remembering it wrong. Something you got to think about when you're... So you look at this, so like this engages that little thing, and then it gets chopped up by the T-80B, and it's like, does he finish it off? Does he... Because he's losing... Okay. I mean, that one was a miss, which makes sense. It's got 2/3 accuracy, it fired 3 shots. So yeah, he got that, and now he heals, but you gotta turn off the fuel, because look, it's refueling, and you saw how fast that first bit of supply went down. That's because the fuel it refills really quickly, and it costs you a bit. Here we go, he's bought the Akatsuya now. So what you can do is put this BMP 1P here. And another thing is, like, neither player's doing anything here. They're very, very focused on this one lane, so... I'll be honest, both of these divisions are designed to do that, so that does play a role. And also, neither player's using smoke mortars, which are extremely useful in this situation. So if you're red, you smoke mortar like back here, so that the enemy tanks can't shoot you while your infantry's here. And if you're blue, you smoke mortar, this, so that you can get your guys, like get your tanks up. So if these tanks can actually engage, they should be able to overpower the enemy. It's just they're not really engaging. And yeah, these AA guns, right? So it's like you get to the enemy side of the town and all his fire support hits you. And that's what the smoke deals with. That's what the smoke fixes. That is the problem the smoke addresses. He's just bought 2 RT in a row, which is... You shouldn't do that. You should not do that. Because now he needs more infantry and it's not here. And it's not coming for another, a minute or whatever. So if you buy an RT piece, the next thing you should buy is not an RT piece. Just something to get into the mood of... there's a tendency to be like, I need RT. It's like that thing before. I need Iglas. And you bought 4 Iglas. Gotta get into that habit of not doing that. So, because like, yeah, this is good, but this is 220, this is 35, and the other one was like, what, 60? 80, actually. So you gotta do this a few times for it to pay for itself. And that means that, you've just, at this crucial moment, you've just invested in this RT. It's not even got a supply with it. So it will take 2 minutes to reload now, and right now you need infantry a bit more. So, 1 RT, and then you buy, BMP2 or whatever, and then you buy the other RT maybe a couple minutes later, something like that. It's not always the case. Like, if literally nothing's happening, then, you will see me breaking my own rule. But for the most part, I think it's important. So these are going on the tank. This is probably going to die here, yeah. And there you go, the CV's in, but he's wishing he had that grad now. And you see now he's just bought 4 supplies, so that's, another minute without infantries. Okay, he's bought a CV, because he's actually not got a CV in here. This needs to smoke. Wow, they're all really low, but this is like... dead, so... okay. Ah, yes, this would be the perfect MiG-21 bis cluster. Oh, that was horrible. Oh, so this is like what, 2.6? That's 2.5 minutes income there. Oh, so yeah, that's why you don't blob. That was absolutely horrible. But yeah, at this crucial moment when Red's pushing the zone, ISI is invested in a bunch of arty. And so he's just had 3 minutes without anything going into this, whereas Pixel's done the same thing. So, but I suppose he's doing it less because these aren't as expensive. But yeah, this is kind of, you can do that at some point. But it's like 2 of these is 1 minute's income, and then there was more front line coming in, like this, for example, and there was another AT thing back here. They were all new. So yeah, you just got to think about when you're buying stuff, what do I need? It's all just practice, really. But it's very, very hard to get out of that idea of, I need this, and then I need this, and then you buy like 4 of one thing and then 4 of the next thing. The best players don't do that. They buy, with 1 minute's income, they buy a little bit of everything, right? Obviously harder than it used to be with the prices going up, but still, it's a lot better than, because you see this, right? Okay, I need infantry, right? I need a mortar. I need artillery, and here we go. So he's actually just bought another arty piece, even though he's losing the zone. So that's a sort of series of... I need infantry, 3 BMP2s. So it's both of these players are pretty high ranked. And so you see it's a problem that persists, right? And, you know, it depends, right? Because you got to make these decisions on the fly under a lot of pressure. So right now, Blue, you know, he's under pressure. He's behind. And, you know, I'm getting artied. I got to think about that. I got to think about this. But, you know, he bought 2 helos in a row, and then he lost 2 helos. And then he bought, like, 3 artillery pieces in a row. And just spent a whole minute just buying supply. So, this guy can smoke. He has smoke. Oh no, those are enemy HE rounds. I was gonna say that smoke looks a bit weird. So yeah, this is something that can actually work. But usually it's just better to buy the smoke. And yeah, it's a shame, like, this has been so underutilized. So, ISI's tanks came over here, whereas if they were over here, I think they would have got a lot more done. Especially with this Razvedka Saperi, like, all the tanks here, he would have killed this, he would have cleaned... Well, this was dead, he just bought new stuff. And you see they are getting counter-batteried there. So, yeah. It's looking good for Pixel. I mean, he's got his strategy and he's sort of holding to it. One thing you can do is not sell these. Turn off the auto. So it's got 8 HP. You send it forwards, you just soak up an Igla hit and then you sell it. You still get the same amount of money back. And then these two hit the Igla. You get the AA that way. So there you go, Grad on the mortars. I think these are higher priority targets. He's actually trying to load them up now after they shoot the next volley. So yeah, Blue's artillery starting to do a bit. I don't know, 39Y is such a rough div. I just don't understand it at all. It's like a tournament pick if 79Y gets banned, but then, you know, why not play something else? Like 25th Soviet, 31st Soviet. Is this tank going to go down? It does. So that was there for a long time, he just didn't move it. So that's not ideal, really. Like, this could be sold, this could be sold. Yeah, so if Pixel had set one of these mortars, of which there is now only one left, onto smoke, this could be in here ages ago, but... Or he could just drive in, because there's actually not anybody there. So yeah, I hope you're learning a lot from this game. How to grind towns and stuff. It's generally about, you know, getting one arty piece and hitting the ATGMs, or hitting these things. No, these are really cheap. That's the issue. They're not as cheap as they used to be, but you get 12 of them. They're really annoying. But yeah, just like one arty piece, you can just like slowly whittle them down, get a CV next to it, because there's a CV here not doing anything, so you don't actually have to buy that. And like try and cut the enemy's reinforcements. A lot of it's infantry cycling, right? So like these should be sold, and you know your infantry shouldn't die because you should move it back. I have got a game I need to cast of Hippie versus Skate on urban frontlines, and that's probably the highest level town grind I've ever seen. It's all about like, don't lose your units. Game's gonna go on for a long time. Wow, lots of things to link in the description. So you see that, so yeah, it's about trying to like, so if your fire support can shoot, then you've got a chance, right? That is, what? This didn't hit that? What? What happened to the cub? Where'd that go? I think this might have killed it. Anyway, this is looking really bad for ISI now. He's just too far behind on the front line, because he bought all this arty, and he's still buying these helos, and he doesn't even have the cub now. But yeah, both teams are buying too much arty, in my opinion. I mean, at this stage in the game, you would expect quite a bit of arty, but in general, if you're buying 4 howitzers in a 1v1, that's not really ideal. I would either have these two or these two, basically. Covered that in the deck review, so I'm just repeating myself. It's just I know most of you skip it, so what I should do is just not repeat myself, and then if you skip the deck review, then you're just gonna suffer. from a lack of knowledge. But it's not like I've got anything else to talk about except, you know, my PhD and how much I don't want to do it. So the helo went the same way as all the other helos. Oh, actually, no, it didn't. A jet did not slam into it. It was hit by the Tunguska this time. And that's actually a really nice grad strike. So you see that situationally, the grad is actually useful. Like, you see, he got a lot there, and it's paid for itself. Like, in these longer games, it's just like when he bought the arty, basically, that I have a problem with. And you see that red is trying to get on this side now. These are the mortar ones. But yeah, there was an underappreciation of this, basically from both players. But now that red has it, it just becomes so obvious. Like, you can see, seeing is believing and so on, how difficult it is for blue to do anything, because he has to like come down here instead, and this is covered as well, like quite easily. So like this is so important to this zone, and it also frees up red to just keep advancing this way. So yeah, it's not ideal. And yeah, blue very much on the tank purchases. CV goes down again, +2 to Pixel. There's 15 minutes left here, but I mean, it's pretty obvious what the outcome is. I'm assuming it's not going to be some big turnaround. Question is, like, so does Pixel go for this? I mean, he doesn't really have to. As long as he's up here, he can cut the reinforcements. So he needs to get a one of those anti-tank guns, but he brings them at 1 there, so he's probably ran out. So that's why you don't bring them at 1 there. Like one of those 2,800 meter repairers here, well, that's fantastic. They can't even see you unless they get a recon up to here. Forces blue to get around and then up through this forest. So maybe we really want to play Warno, actually. And yeah, get the repairers in there, but he up-aired them, which we spoke about in the deck review, how that's kind of a bad idea, and this is why, because he's run out of those. So going on the Tunguska, it is a good kill. That TAB did die, like, so it's not over for ISI here, and you'll notice like these aren't really much of anything. Basically, Pixel should have put an infantry unit in here and slowly worked that through, because that can shoot these, and then you put a CV with it, a bit of AA, you know, one of those, couple of those Toad guns, right? It doesn't have to be like a book or something. And then that's how you take the zone. Obviously doing this is... this could be sold, right? And look, blue, he's getting the zone back. Like, red's overextension, and you see that the artillery is starting to pay for itself now, but like neither side is moving them. These aren't even being used. But yeah, blue needs a CV, and there is one here you could deploy. So, T80B gets stunned before it can shoot. This could be sold. That is obviously not ideal. He's noticed his mistake, but you see that? Oh wow, it's strokey. Oh, okay, so that would have been a front shot anyway. And yeah, you see the issue with this, because you're in the open. I suppose there's a little bit of forest here. Scottini's come in, and you see the power of that, because this used to have like 10% accuracy, and now it doesn't. And it looks like those both hit. Those big missiles, basically you just fire the big missiles and then you go reload it. And as long as you have fuel switched off on this, which nobody seems to do, it costs 8 supply to reload them both. So they reload immediately. It's got 1 second reload time. So then you just stand back up and... oh, what do you know? He's trying to send the jet, but no, there's a buck there. So, and 2 Tunguskas. But yeah, blue, is this CV from... no, he's bought another one. So he should be able to stop this. It's just... and I'll be honest, like, it kind of looks like red's running out of units. So there's 12 minutes left. I think if blue gets this, then he can push Leonid. Mainly because, I don't know, like, red's kind of overextended. And, you know, if he keeps these grads shooting, like, this should be shooting at that big blob here. And they're moving out of it now, but he knows they're in there because it's like where the Tunguska fired from and so on. And yeah, you see how good this is, but there's no AAs, so it comes back here, and they do one-shot this. So that's another thing, that ISI had like 1 cub for basically 30 minutes. Should have had more cubs. And you see that these don't really do a whole lot against the armor. They're mainly anti-infantry, so like, he doesn't even have to get back there, but... I guess you low cohesion, so what Pixel should do is then send the tank. And yeah, like, if you sell these two, you get another infantry unit. Just those kinds of small things that actually do make a bit... Here we go, easy aiming for the blob, and, you know, that is 100 points worth of empty supply that should have been sold, and now he's never going to get it. Oh, that one missed, I guess. That one survived, I mean. So that's supply that could have been sold there. And, yeah, so the artillery, it takes time to pay for itself. It's now in the paying for itself stage. It's just that a lot of damage has been done from that. So 39Y still got... So he only gets 2 cards of BMP2s, but he's actually still got some, which is interesting. And he needs some recon with these tanks. I suppose this is giving recon, but... I mean, you know, something a bit more mobile would be nice. And the other thing is to... So he should smoke a back here, but he's not smoking. I don't know if he's got smoke. So the other thing is, like, these haven't moved. These are moving. So, like, the Akatsias could go on the Giatsins. Given that it's self-propelled, it's a hard kill, but you do kind of shut the enemy up for a bit. Sturm's deploying here. Yeah, this is actually looking really bad for Red now. He's overextended, and yeah, Osa cleans out the Escortini. Because look, they've already lost 2 HP, so this would one-shot. That was going for the jet, which I don't... Sorry, that was going for the healer, which was not a good idea, basically. It's so expensive. You need this to defend, right? And then this has been spotted. So he still needs to deal with these, but... Yeah, that's the other thing when you're playing against divs with lots of healers. Like, you see he's actually moving all these now. You actually do have to leave one there. Or that AA helo, which he kind of wasted. That's great for backline defense because it can also shoot the healers. But gotta watch out because then they sent the jet all the way down here and then across. There's always a lot to think about in this game, and that's why I like it. Obviously, not as much as like Age of Empires, for example, where you also have to deal with the entire economy sector. In this, you just get points from Uncle Sam. But it's still, you know, there's no directional armor in Age of Empires, for example. There's no smoke button in Age of Empires. Although, you know, there is still, like, lots of infantry micros. So that was a side shot there, and otherwise it would have survived. So that's your directional armor coming through. That just drove into a howitzer round. Might have shot it as well, maybe? I don't know, it died really quick. Anyway, yeah, it's probably not going to work out for him, basically. But these tanks, they're not healing. They're being sent in with low HP. This is... Wow! A helicopter! I wonder what will happen. So the... You know, jets were sent out, and one of them does die there, but... Yeah, it's just a case of keeping him here. Like, it kind of looked like ISI would be able to push this, but then Pixel just bought more stuff, and so, you know... And ISI lost some guys. Those helos, really hard to use, really hard to keep alive. And yeah, he's not moving his AA after he shoots it, so that's good work from Pixel there, just immediately shooting the AA. You'll notice this aim's in 20 seconds and this aim's in 26. So it is a lot better. It's 20 points more, but yeah, this is one of the better arty pieces in the game. 6 salvo length can actually be kind of annoying. Because if he gets a good opponent, he's going to move after the first 2. But... You know, it is what it is. What you could say as well, you interrupt it, but if you give an order, if you then give an order to attack and then move, it will fire the last 4 rounds in that salvo, and then it will wait and fire the whole next salvo, and then it will move. So that's kind of annoying. So this is maybe blind firing, but yeah, this is something that neither player was willing to... I suppose he did have a recon here, I guess he died. Neither player was really willing to invest here and kind of stretch the battle out. It's obviously easier to defend than attack. So Pixel's probably quite thankful for that. But, you know, in like the top level games, people use the whole map. At least they should be. So here you go. So Pixel secured this again, and all of a sudden it just looks so much worse for Blue. This is so important. And yeah, these could all be sold. It's 40 points each, that's 160 points, that's, you know, one and a bit of these. But yeah, it's just not looking great for Blue. He's getting lots of kills. I don't actually think the KD will be that different. But he's lost the position, well actually he's lost a lot of tanks. He's lost all the positions, right? He's out of rounds, okay. So, yeah, that's looking pretty over. And, yeah, the surrender's going to come in 1 minute, so... CV's in there, you see he sends a BMP2 forwards, and, yeah. So yeah, really interesting game. Hopefully you've learned a lot about Two Lakes and fighting for the town. And as you can see, the KD wasn't actually that different. So props to both players. Pixel rank 53 here, with 379 games of rank this season. Is that 306 on 6YA? That's a... And then you got ISI rank 204 with 502 ranked games this season, 436 of which may or may not have been on 39Y. So, yeah, they both play those divs a lot, but it's always nice to get a fresh pair of eyes in to see, look, you need to be doing this a bit differently. So, yeah, you see the grad actually, I think, did pay for itself, because it also dealt a lot of chip damage, but it's just when he bought them. He bought them when he was losing the town. He bought 3 pieces of arty basically in a row, and then like a bunch of supply, and it's like, that's not frontline. None of it's frontline, and so he lost on the front line. This, the MiG-21 BIS clusters, like 39Y should have had more cubs out earlier instead of just 1 cub. Like, if that grad had been 2 cubs, this wouldn't have happened, basically. So, yeah, you see that his TABs did actually do a lot of work. Like, look at that. So the KDs were actually pretty similar. Anyways, do let me know what you think, and I'll see you around. GG.